Hi guys, Freddy here with another retro RPG, and you can see my beautiful face, so you know it's going to be the presentation of another PDF. So let's go over to the computer desktop. This week I would like to present this, Cyberpunk version 3.0. It's been requested by a subscriber to this channel, and I had a look, because I wasn't actually aware this existed. I'd skipped straight from Cyberpunk 2020 to waiting for Cyberpunk Red, which is coming out soon to match up with the computer game Cyberpunk 2077. And I have said the word Cyberpunk a lot, but there'll be a lot more of that to come. Right, so started to look through the book, because this PDF doesn't seem to have a copy of the back cover on it. Now you can see they've changed the colours from red to a green, and as we get into the book, we're going to see it's not great presentation, let's be honest. This page border decoration, it's not great. It's chromy, but it's not that smooth. It's a big chunky pixely background. It's not a great presentation to get off with, and again I find this font very hard to read. But once we get into the artwork, we're going to see a lot of this, where it's early computer-generated graphics, renders from probably Lightwave or something like that. It's not great quality at all. I have to say, I'm not impressed with the artwork. There's none of the beautiful old artwork that they used. They'd have been so much better to have stuck with the old style artwork and reused a lot of that. But they didn't. They decided to do all new artwork throughout, and this is the style they went for. Not my favourite. And that's going to be something I'm going to say a lot during this. So, flicking on, we have changed the background of Cyberpunk quite a bit in this edition. There was the Fourth Corporation War, where large corporations went to battle against each other. I believe there's been like a nuke set off in the middle of Night City, so the main setting for Cyberpunk. Things have radically changed, but the biggest change to the background is the data crash. Basically, a virus got released across the internet. Do they call it the internet in this? Who cares? You know what I mean. The worldwide network got a big virus released across it, which destroyed data. And one of the suggestions it puts forward is that the virus mixed things up. So people now relying on digital data have found themselves unsure of the past. You know, there are videos of Richard Nixon, that's the suggestion it's making on this page. And there we go. But there's video existing on the internet of Richard Nixon blowing his own brains out on camera. There's ones of him telling everybody that they're not going to kick him around anymore. There's the other one where he started a nuclear war. So nobody's really sure of the past, because when they go online to look for the history, it's all different. Although the idea that some history books might actually exist, that people could go and physically look up the data. No? But anyway, the virus has gone and corrupted history, so nobody really knows what's going on. But it's pretty much destroyed the internet as well. So there's no real way of communicating properly. It's this absolute hive of viruses and things. As people plug in to cross the network, they get attacked, so only skilled hackers can get on there now. But this has destroyed global corporations, because global corporation headquarters in New York cannot speak and cannot send data to their office in Seattle or London or Cairo. These corporations have collapsed, and they've kind of been taken over by religious cults. Now, this is an interesting, different cyberpunk background, where humanity is total chaos. There's no organizing corporations, there's no world governments really anymore, because the corporations destroyed those. So everybody has turned to weird religious cults, because it's the end of days. Yeah, that's quite a cyberpunk background, but it doesn't feel the same Cyberpunk as the original or Cyberpunk 2020, or even what we're looking at for Cyberpunk 2077 or Cyberpunk Red. It feels to me a lot more like Cyber Generation, because the main characters or the player characters are being heroes more than they're just people being paid as guns for hire. And I actually like that about Cyberpunk. It's one of the things I like most about Shadowrun, which is obviously just a variant of Cyberpunk, that the Games Master doesn't have to come up with some overarching plot. You know, you're not aiming to bring down a government, you're not having a revolution, you're not trying to find some lost treasure. You're just a guy being paid cash to go out and kill somebody, steal something, destroy a corporation, insert records, do some corporate sabotage, and you get your cash at the end of the day. You go away and you do your shopping, you buy cyberware, you buy new vehicles, you buy new guns. And I like that for a role-playing game. It's a very simplistic view, and it's really good for the Games Master because they don't have to plan this massive campaign. Let's keep looking through it. So in the aftermath, there's various groups. So the Nomads have formed into a moving state called the Rolling State. There's Neocorps, who are basically these religions and organized crime. So Mafia, the Yakuza, the Triads, the Russian mobs, and the Colombian drug cartels have always been good at organizing in small cells to avoid the law, but now they've taken over these corporations. I don't know. I don't really like it too much. There's the altcults, which, as I said, religions have kind of taken over. Also, as I said, here's this new style of graphics or artwork. You know, it's not very impressive. To me, that looks more like an action man dressed up. Sorry for my American viewers, that would be G.I. Joe. The background is fairly similar, the rules are fairly similar. You've got the same cyberware and all that. It's just that the world has changed. So, what have we got here as character types? So we've got Reef, transformed men return to the sea. So these are pirates and sailors on the seven seas. We've got theme park wizards and masters of mecha. So these are basically the hackers, deckers, whatever you want to call them. Oh, they pilot big mechs as well. The nomads are still the drivers of the game. Ocean nomads. I can't really find it in my heart to care with the difference between a nomad and an ocean nomad. Full body cyborgs coming into their own. What else we got? Some font templates, edge runners. It's nothing particularly interesting to me. NPCs and meta characters. So a lot of sort of background stuff, NPCs to pull out, which is always nice. Sorry, the screen's taking a wee bit longer to update, so you're seeing a lot of white pages as I flick through this very quickly. Applying armor, locations in Night City, adventure scenarios. So it's pretty easy to drop into. It's just I'm not a fan of the background. And Netrunner software, driving, running punk, lots of background stuff, lots of really useful rules for getting into things, all things dark and cyberpunk. So much useful material, but this feels more like stuff which could be given to a games master separately in some kind of source book for Cyberpunk 2020. But we've got this new weird darker background. Agents, so the sort of software you run on stuff. And we got pop media, digital fabric, welcome to Night City. doing the Night City Shuffle. Advanced rules, so cybernetics. Oh no, character creation, where you get to create a romantic life and background for your characters. Spend character points. Flash characters, so just roll a d100. 2d10 for d100, and you've got random stats. How to convert characters from Cyberpunk 2020 there. Back for a moment. So things are pretty similar. As you can see, there's not actually that much to change. We've got perks, so advantages basically. Talents, skills. There's a lot of rules to go through here, and I don't have that much to say about the game. I've kind of gone over what I really think about it. We've got loads of skills here. Getting fitted for the future. Weapons. This is all very similar to Cyberpunk 2020, but where Cyberpunk 2020 had the Chromebooks, it had lots of nice pictures of guns. This is just text. This is boring. If I want to get a Kang Rapid Assault Shotgun up here, or a Sternmeyer Stakeout, there's no difference to me apart from the stats. Whereas in Cyberpunk 2020, in Shadowrun, where there's lots of good artwork of the guns, you can see what the gun looks like, and you go, yeah, my character carries a big pistol, or he's got this assault rifle and it's bullpup style, so the magazine goes in here. You get an image of what your character looks like. But in Cyberpunk 3.0, nope, you've just got some text. We're getting into almost Rolemaster territory here. All guns never die, body armor, starting outfit, transform nodes, mecha presence skills and powered armor, adaptive nanotech. There's a lot of shopping in here to be done. Bioform companions, so you can buy yourself a multi-legged feline or a small dinosaur, a monkey lemur to keep your house tidy. Nice ideas, quite a nice addition to the world, but really these exist when the world has collapsed and all data's missing. Nobody can remember how President Nixon resigned, but everybody knows how to make a genetically modified monkey who keeps your laundry clean. Really? It doesn't seem to make a load of sense to me, I have to say. But I'm probably picking nits because I'm not liking the tone. Advanced combat, which I notice if we flip back for a second, still Friday Night Firefight. So the rules, which came separately, I don't think I've ever gone over the original Cyberpunk rules, but in the original Cyberpunk you had the game, and then you had Friday Night Firefight, which was a separate set of combat rules, which I found quite remarkable in that they treated the combat rules as separate to Cyberpunk the game. Let's keep on going. We've got the combat rules, which look very, very similar on a brief glimpse. As I said, I'm not doing a deep dive here. I've had to read through the rules a little bit over the last week since this was suggested, but that's not long enough to really get much detail at all. Right, we're still on the combat rules, grenades, how to do damage, asphyxiation, layering armor. So yes, you can wear a bulletproof vest under your armored jacket. Trauma teams, the people who come out and rescue you. Body banks. We've got new cyberware. We've got lists of tables for all the stuff you can have fitted and modify your weapons with, and the bioforms you can buy, and how you can modify them so you can make your cat swim faster or whatever. Reference lists, a lot of tables here. Never a good sign for me in a role-playing game. I much prefer to have background than just endless tables. And we're on to the character sheets, which seem really long. Let's have a look at that again. So we've got a character record. Got character template character, bioforms owned, mecha owned, transforms owned, body shells owned, new cyberware worn, adaptive nano loaded, a meta character sheet. So you print the character sheet and then one of these, or all of them if you have a character with one or all of these things. So you can end up with like a 7-page long character sheet. Yeah. We're getting very close to the end here. And that's the end with some tables, which I think sums up my thoughts on Cyberpunk 3.0 quite well. There's way too many tables. There's a background which I'm not that keen on, but it's got the same rules as Cyberpunk. There might be some elements. If you run Cyberpunk 2020 and you wanted to update the rules, then buying 3.0 to allow yourself to get slightly updated rules might be worthwhile. But unless you totally want to nuke the world and destroy the total background, I don't think it's worth converting from Cyberpunk 2020 to Cyberpunk 3.0. But you won't have to, because Cyberpunk Red is coming out very soon, or is it actually out? I should have Googled for that before I did this video, but I haven't. I'm unprepared. But it's coming out, and basically Cyberpunk 3.0 is being tossed to the side. Cyberpunk Red is a sequel to 2020, Cyberpunk 2077 as a game is a sequel to Cyberpunk 2020, and Cyberpunk 3.0 is a forgotten speed bump on the history of Cyberpunk, which is a bit of a sad ending for a game, but I'm afraid it's not that good. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing, but most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye.